Okay, Say So TV, right? So Say So TV is this particular type of, he's like a gay commentary type dude. He like makes videos basically daily, right? Oh wow, he deleted it. Oh, oh wow, he deleted the video. That's crazy. Well, he made a video, right, where he was commenting on the Castro Supreme, who is an adult performer, right? He's basically, he started like way back, like old school, and he just kind of resurfaced, right? And he was with these two like OnlyFans people. I think they're an OnlyFans couple, right? And basically there was controversy because
Trigger warning, we're about to talk about something very serious. So last night on Twitter, there was audio leaked of a man who is an adult entertainer supposedly, allegedly being raped. In the audio, you can hear him, his name is Castro Supreme. You can hear him say, "You and your boyfriend are raping me." And then he proceeds to like cry and whimper and just basically telling them that they are being way too aggressive with him. The two men in question are Jacoby and Alex. From what I hear, these two have had these types of allegations against them before. Um, there's video and pictures of Castro looking very drugged, and
Nico's Aesthetic, I said Nico's TV, LOL. Nico's Aesthetic talked about it and he basically gave some update. Here's the video that, you know, started this investigation. Let me go to the one where he said Castro Supreme himself came forward.
Say, oh, I used a spicy word. He said I shouldn't have been drinking that much. So, once again, I don't know how you're that good at acting while you're fully inebriated. So, take all of what Jacoby is saying with a grain of salt.
Maybe I shouldn't have been drinking so much.
So we all had a little bit of a drink, but you know, in the beginning of it, like, right, but you know,
I didn't even know nothing about you. I just seen you had a lot of following, and I asked one of my OG managers, that's a Haitian, that live out in San Francisco, about working with you and collabing with you, and he was like, "Yeah, go for it."
Cause he already know I'm good people. I know him. He know I'm good people. You know I was gonna take care of you.
But then me and him fell out over the phone a month or so ago.
Wow.
So
I know that. Yeah. But I'm just glad that we can get on the same accord. Like I said, I'm sorry about the YouTube stuff. Like I said, it's people that don't know what went on, and it's people that don't know we actors, we performers. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen some of your old scenes. It was the same shit, and I think people just upset that. You bottled or whatever the case may be. But like I said, as long as we're on the same accord, I feel like we'll be able to just make it through. You feel me?
even most of these porn actors straight now, even Mr. I want to say even Mr. Mars, Mexican Steel, Big Magnum, Python, all them niggas fucking trash now.
I'm not, they be bottoming, but see, the thing is, I'm telling you, like I told you, like you said, that be mad when they saw me and you, and honestly, you already know I thought you was gonna fuck me. Whatever the case may be, the shit, I thought you was gonna fuck me, but whatever the case may be, the shit switched up, and that's okay. But I remember telling you, I feel like people gonna be mad because you haven't did that many bottom scenes. And motherfuckers gonna make up a narrative, they gonna say I did this, I did that, and that's why I'm just like, that's why I'm just glad we on the same page, that's all. And we can just leave it at that. Cool. I'm gonna hit you up Sunday, like I said, and we gonna work things out. I appreciate you calling.
Well, as we can see in that video that Jacoby posted, Castro basically confirms that he was severely inebriated under the influence of alcohol, which by the FDA standards is considered a drug. So, in short, he basically confirmed that I did not lie about anything because I never said in that video that Jacoby slid something into Castro's drink. I never said that Jacoby gave him substances. I said that he was having a film with someone who was under the influence. And I'm leaving that video up just so that you can see that I never said that. Secondly, There are comments from Jacoby under both my YouTube and under multiple tweets where he is basically going in, trying to harass me, basically saying, oh, you're deleting comments, you're deleting comments, you're deleting comments. And I just want to take a step back and say that anybody that is in touch with a lawyer would know.
So that's the tea on that. That was crazy. Before that video came out, right, before the Nico Aesthetics video came out, I was looking at different gay influencers and talking about like OnlyFans is like a very niche thing. And Nico's Aesthetics is the only one I've seen that's pretty popular that talks about like OnlyFans drama and stuff like that. But Say So TV also talks about a lot of the queer stuff and shit like that, right? And he had a video up on his channel where he gave a response, right? It was like 4 days after, I believe, his initial video. And it was basically him being like, I'm tired of y'all trying to say this, y'all trying to say that. What I said, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on it. I'm not saying it's okay to R-word and stuff like that. So I really wanted to know like why he was getting that response or why people were upset. The video, and we're gonna look at the video together.
He is whimpering and whining and, you know, saying that they are being too rough. And I'm gonna, obviously, you know, you don't have to go on Twitter to find it. Just type in Castro Supreme audio. And there are 2 video clips. But this is something that's very serious because sexual crimes against men do not get reported.
I just realized he's the same person that I saw at this another channel called, what is her name, Mademoiselle, right, or something like that. And I could have swore that she was looking at one of his contents like several years ago where basically he was talking about how he blames women for how bi men get treated. And you know, when I look at Say So TV, I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he says. The reason I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he says is because, well, I'm a human, and why would I agree with every other human that's on this planet? But also, some of the stuff he says kind of makes me feel like he's definitely that type of dude who is, how do I say, he gives the same vibes as those mass for mass type gays, you know? He gives the same vibes where he doesn't really understand, you know, femininity. He doesn't understand the different types of things that may come from a feminine presenting gay person. Like he's very much, I'm just a man who happens to be bi and da da da. And that's cool. You know, there's a certain demographic in the LGBTQ community who is like that. But, you know, when I see him, sometimes I'm just kind of like, okay. You know, when I hear some of the shit he says, I'm like, okay, that's a choice. But
especially in these types of communities like the OF community, things like this happen all the time. There's a lot of drug use, and in this video, in this audio, it just seems like he was being taken advantage of.
You see that look he gave?
Communities like,
I don't even know why he gave that look. So already off the bat, he's sitting there making it seem like what dude is saying isn't true. If you are someone who follows the circles, you know, you're around the big O gays, you know that there's a lot of drama within the OnlyFans community. You would know that there's a lot of OnlyFans couples who be fighting, be drugged out, be doing a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of trauma, a whole bunch of stuff is going on behind closed doors. So I don't even know why he already is making a particular type of face where it makes it seem like, oh, this dude doing too much. Like,
as time went on, I kind of forgot all about him. I'm not gonna lie, because you know his time passed, and you know, this is the first time that he's being brought out. Like, I didn't even know he was still doing OnlyFans or nothing. So that part, I'm going to discuss that as well. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play the audio because I do also have the audio. I'm going to go ahead and play the audio of what he was talking about. Basically, you can hear Castro. It does sound like he's intoxicated and all that, but we're going to go ahead and play the audio, and then I'm going to give my true commentary on this. All right, let's go.
Y'all dicks is so big. Fuck. Shit. Why y'all motherfucking me like? You like getting photos, man? I love you.
Okay, so that's the audio. You hear Castro saying, like, why y'all doing me like this? Why y'all fucking me like this? And all that. But he's saying it in a very submissive way. And honestly, so
We have very different definitions of submissive. As someone who's submissive, I don't know, that sounded very questionable. I don't know. I'm gonna listen to what he has to say, right? Let me stop pausing.
Y'all, that did not sound too much to me like, no, how can I put this? That did not sound like SA to me, which is assault. That did not come off like SA to me totally. Now, from his perspective later on in that, he might have felt like that later because he's seen how they didn't care about him, they degraded him. But that to me looked like foreplay. A lot of people do like forced foreplay, jailhouse foreplay. Y'all get what I'm saying here. A lot of people like that kind of foreplay. And honestly, based on the way that Castro came out with getting topped, that's what Tyga did. He got his homeboy to come through and smash him right after he popped his virginity. Like, is what it seemed like in to take him down. So you look like you like to be dominated. It looked like that's what you like. And honestly, as a porn star, if they get you in a video and you ain't known for getting topped and you was only topped that one time and they saw that video, they might think that, oh, that's how he want to be done. And I'm actually doing worse because I got to top Tyga and what he did. Like, in order for this to even, be jumping. And honestly, that's what happened. And he gave it to him with that whimpering and whining because to me, honestly, I get niggas to do that all the time. Like, I have niggas doing that all the time. So I did not think that sounded like SA to me because I'm used to hearing that type of energy a lot.
But are you used to hearing that when they're highly intoxicated? Are you used to hearing that when they are barely coherent? Because being submissive and having a sense of autonomy, being someone who's able to know their left from their right, is way different. I'm not into the whole rape scenario. I'm not into the whole thing. Some dudes are into that, whatever. I think that, yeah, if you would say you heard that before as a top, you're more top as anything, or you only been the top, and that's what you heard, yeah, but I would hope that you only heard that with dudes who are not on any substances, with dudes who are not, I mean, hell, they could still be, high, drunk, but like not to the point where it's like they completely look like they are out of this world. That to me doesn't make you look good as a person because it's like that person doesn't have enough autonomy, that they don't have the ability to be able to comprehend fully. And so if they're having any interaction with you sexually and you are doing some shit with them and they're out of it, like that could lead to people thinking that you raped the person or that you sexually assaulted the person because that's how that works. And we can sit there and talk about how men, and I've seen some of the comments on here, how a lot of men who have been assaulted, especially if you were in the bottom position, considering it's so submissive, how a lot of them just kind of take it, right? They kind of just take it. They kind of just allow it to happen. They say, well, I'm a man. It is what it is. Just because you are a feminine man or a gay man and under patriarchy, that means, oh, you're not a real man because you don't only like the opposite sex. You are not considered a real man under that particular system or that particular belief. Does not mean that means you should just be ignored. But the sad thing is that straight men themselves allow, other men to get assaulted. If a man gets assaulted by a woman, then it's like, it is what it is. He probably liked it, because men are just whores who just love sex. That's all we love and that's all we do. And we just indulge in that because that's how a lot of men have been socialized, whether gay, straight, whatever the fuck. But it is an unfortunate thing to see gay men, some of them actually be like, this is a kink. Not everything should be a fucking kink. Not everything should be, sometimes you need to sit there and say, absolutely not. Don't do that. Or suggest maybe we need to change the optics of this particular type of video because a lot of people who probably went through that trauma are going to say, yeah, this is an unfortunate thing and this shouldn't have ever fucking happened. Like, this shouldn't have even been put out. They should have did another one where he was more able-bodied. This doesn't seem like the right thing to do. And a lot of times, tops, because most tops are more mask presenting, right, straight acting, they have the same mindset of dudes who are straight. they don't really see it until it happens to them. They do not see that particular type of thing of assault or of rape or of anything like that, where it's just like, I'm not agreeing with it, but I'm complacent for ignorance towards that particular subject. I'm not saying it's right, but at the same time, y'all are doing a little too much, because that's just how we feel in the grand scheme of things. And I find that to be very unfortunate that so many mass-presenting gay dudes do that. So many mass-presenting queer men have that particular type of belief. Especially if you are a man, you're just supposed to just take it. You're just supposed to, oh, it's not that serious. Oh, it's not that deep, because you are a man. And that fucks men over all the time. That ruins the ability to be able to handle those situations in a way that you actually need to handle them, because you're not taking it serious. Because you only see it from the standpoint of just fight back, just deal with it, and we can move on. You know, it's a choice, but it's unfortunately just, it's a big part of what I've noticed as a man, a big part of how we see men, right? It's fucked up.
Just like, so does that make me like, no, it's not. They be enjoying it. They like that. It's a lot of people do like that. So it's kind of like you got to have safe words, or you got to be aggressive, and you know what I'm saying? You got to let it be known, like, nah, get up off of me. I don't like this. Like, be, you know, physical. Like, you can't just be saying it. Like, I'm going to be real with y'all. Like, verbally saying, you know, like, especially how you say it, like, oh, stop. Like, that make a nigga feel like you want me to go deeper. Like, I would go deep.
I don't get... Because I feel like you will be able to know if a dude is not comfortable, right? I feel like I'm giving men, people in general, the benefit of the doubt by saying that, you know, you will be able to differentiate, right? And so to say, oh, you need to be more verbal, you need to be a little bit more rough, you need to fight back if you want somebody off of you. I'm like, yes, but also we shouldn't make that something that's like the standard for being able to go into those particular type of positions, or to be able to handle that particular type of situation. We shouldn't make that the standard, like, oh, just fight back and everything will be okay. Being a bottom is a very vulnerable position. Even if you're a power bottom, it's still a vulnerable position. And so to say that you need to fight back, you need to act like a man, you need to just let him know, it's like, yeah, but not everybody's built that way. Maybe some people are fearful. If you are somebody who is submissive, and that's your kink, not everybody who's submissive is going to be able to sit there and fight back and do all of that stuff. That's not everybody's personality, right? That's not how everybody moves. And so, yes, I understand this particular issue where it's like, yes, you need to have accountability, or you need to be able to allow yourself to have autonomy in that particular situation. But the thing that was happening with Castro Supreme is that people were saying that he was being taken advantage of because he was not in his right mind. He was intoxicated heavily. And so that changes the optics of the situation. If I'm barely coherent and I'm sitting here getting my back blown in, and I'm like, I can barely sit there and say something without slurring my words, that's a whole different type of dynamic. How am I going to be able to sit there and have enough autonomy to sit there and tell you, get the fuck up off of me? I'm not, because I'm not in my right mind. And so I think that the problem with a lot of dudes like Say So, not saying he's a bad person, Brian, I'm just saying a problem with that particular type of mentality is that they don't understand that in that particular position, it's hard to fight back. It's the same shit that straight men tell women. And I'm not saying gay men and women are the same and they have the same, no, because women and men have different experiences. But it's the same type of mindset where it's like, oh, if you're scared, get a gun. Oh, if you scared, make sure you have pepper spray, and you know, it's like in that particular situation, it's like, you know, some of these dudes are crazy. I don't know how that'll work out for every single person who could be an actual victim. Now, he's taking his own personal experiences of being someone who's more dominant, of being someone who's more masculine presenting, more top, being a top. Some of the stuff that he's saying, I understand. It's like, yes, you know, some dudes do like that.
What up, what up? These Washington. I'm here, co-stars. What's up? What's up, fellas? Say what's up.
Chilling, what up?
What's up? I'm here with motherfucking Castro. What's up, brother?
Chilling, man.
It's me, These Washington, Castro. We have our victim here. What's up, victim? Nah, introduce yourself.
John Estevez.
All right, cool. His attention is always on something else, but we got him in camera. What's up, brother? Finally have a chance to work with you. Good shit. Gonna handle some business, take care of it. That's what's up. Yeah. Give me a little bit more life than that.
That's too early, man.
Too early?
Yeah. Bring some bitches. Next time, bring a bunch of bitches.
Here's a whole for you, right there.
All right, now you get some Krispy Kreme. He's happy. Got the man with the master plan sitting over here on the computer checking it out. We're broadcasting all his hoes out there.
But if we don't have enough context of knowing, oh, this is how they felt ahead of time, this is the type of thing that they were going for, this is the type of kink that they were going for, then it's only natural, especially on the internet, for things to get lost in translation and for people to be like, I'm not really sure that that was appropriate. I'm not really sure that that person was actually enjoying what they were enjoying, especially since, again, this is a situation, an issue that happens a lot within the gay community, where you do have a lot of men who have been assaulted, who have been taken advantage of, especially if they're bottoms, but even tops, who have had that particular issue put upon them, but they just had to deal with it because, oh, that's just what it is. Men do not go around talking about that, or why didn't you fight back? And I can sit there and go further into also the issues of patriarchy and this belief of toxic masculinity, because also that particular belief doesn't go away because you're a feminine presenting man. I know that I said that he is a masculine presenting man, which he does seem to be a masculine presenting man, and he does seem to be mostly or only a top. And I know that I've talked about that being something that's associated with masculine men, but also feminine men also say some of those same things. Feminine men also believe some of those same things, because that's just something that was socialized within manhood. Boys were socialized to believe that, and then boys grow up into men, and then that becomes a whole thing where even if you are someone who lives outside of the norms or the particular image of what it means to be a man, that does not negate that you probably have certain things lingering within your own psyche where you do regurgitate some of the same shit of, oh, be a man, or don't be a pussy, or fight back, I'm a man, da da da, even if you do not present as such. So it's a thing, right? It's a whole thing. But
who y'all want to call the victim or the person who's being submissive? Like, I'm looking at it from all perspective, y'all. A lot of bottoms and dudes, verse dudes, tops, I done had dudes tell me they want somebody to take it from them. Like, it really is a fetish thing too. So you just got to keep that in mind. Plus, they doing porn, so they trying to do something that's gonna get them some views. And a regular video might not have done it. But as far as the drugs and stuff go, you can't say that they drug them, because they all do drugs in that industry. I know how they get down in that industry. Even though I'm not a part of that, and I don't do escort and I don't do porn or nothing, I have been in that environment. I know a lot of them dudes. I know a lot of these dudes. I done smashed a lot of these dudes. So I'm just keeping it G. Like, I know how that lifestyle is. And yeah, man. And I feel sorry for Castro, but at the same time, this was a good lesson. This is what I've been talking about. See, I felt sorry for him until I seen this right here. Like, are you serious? This nigga is almost 50 years old. Like, how long you gonna be doing this? This is what I was talking about, y'all. Make this temporary, this hookup culture. Y'all act like that's all that y'all got to give is y'all's asses and dicks. For you to be still in the porn industry this late, like, honestly, bro, I get off energy and I get off of body language. And when I look at Castro, I feel very sad for him. It's not the same energy, the same confidence I seen when he was younger. The nigga looked way too humble, and like a lot didn't happen to him. And I don't like the look in his eyes, and it's not sexy to see, to be honest. And this is what I be talking about. See, it doesn't matter because you still look good and you still young and you still can pass to, you know, get whatever you want. Because this is a perfect example. Castro is a beautiful man. I'm not going to ever take that away from him. He's an exotic nigga. He's a baddie. You know what I'm saying? We can't...
Exotic. Nigga light skin. He's like, okay.
You're not the same. That's not the same dude. That's not the same dude at all.
That's probably part of the reason why people felt some type of way. It was like he was doing well in life, and so that only added to people's concerns that maybe something happened to him. I'm going to highlight this comment. People who have normalized playing with substances during sexual experiences, i.e. chemsex, may have skewed perceptions of consent and capacity in those scenarios. The line where an individual lacks capacity to consent, withdraw consent, or continue consenting gets very blurry with a lot of drugs in the mix. The question is, when Castro was saying, y'all are raping me, while crying, was he withdrawing consent while they ignored and continued, or was it a part of some sort of role play for the camera? The former would legally be deemed criminal conduct, while the latter would be seen as consensual performance. And that right there is a great way of explaining the situation at hand, right? That, to me, when he was sitting there talking about how, you know, that was a normal thing to take drugs and for OnlyFans performers to be on drugs and do that and be high, and that's a particular thing. I'm like, yeah, but again, there needs to be a particular type of distinction, right? And I just don't think, he says safe words and shit that he uses with the people that he's with, but I just don't think we have a good enough system, or we have a good enough understanding of, this is them sitting there role playing, this is just how they get down, and this is like, okay, this person is doing something they have no business doing, and they need to get locked the fuck up. And I just feel like we don't have a good enough understanding, especially as queer men, where a lot of the stuff that we do is already naturally taboo. I mean, you don't even have to do like the hardcore stuff, the crazy stuff, in order for it to be considered taboo, because the unfortunate thing about homophobia is that just existing as a gay person and just having even the slightest bit of intimacy is considered still to some taboo. It still is something that a lot of people they can't fathom. Now, we have gotten better with that particular type of perception of gay people, right? But it is still like something that's very, especially in the Black community, very deep, where it's like you don't even have to do much in order to understand that. And so when you already come from that background, or you know people who dealt with homophobia and that particular perception of what it means to be gay, there's a particular type of way that you might carry yourself as someone who is going through their sexuality. There's a lot that goes into how you may feel, or what you may think is normal or isn't normal, considering that just being gay is not considered, or wasn't considered for a while, to be normal. So I think that might give certain people leeway to say, oh, we already considered weird, we already considered off, we're already considered taboo, we're already considered not the norm. That I think because of that particular type of understanding of how we are perceived in society, it might give leeway to justifying other particular type of things that shouldn't be justified, because it's like, well, you know, it is what it is. We can do that because we were never really normal anyway. We were never really natural anyway. We were never really perceived to be someone who was right anyway. So it gives us a little bit more freedom to experiment, right? And of course, the experimentation, you know, if it's between two consenting adults, that's okay. But once it goes into other shit, and we start doing certain stuff that is illegal and stuff like that, then it's a chop. It's a chop.
Victims, like, y'all are men, bro. Y'all can defend yourselves, and I don't like that. Don't sit up here trying to make it like this man was getting victimized and abused. He can defend himself. This nigga's got muscles and everything. What the fuck you going to the gym for all the time for if you still gonna act like a little girl?
Oh my god, no.
I'm gonna get pretty privilege and shit. Princess privileges and shit, bro. You are a man.
It's really crazy because I don't think a lot of men understand. I don't think people in general, because I am a man, but I don't think people in general understand balance, right? A lot of what he just said takes away so much, takes away the ability for men to actually get help. A lot of men feel embarrassed, they feel less than, and they feel like they just didn't do what they needed to do. Having fucking muscles doesn't mean shit. Especially if you're intoxicated. Someone can have fucking muscles, get knocked out, have somebody assault them, which has happened to a lot of different men, gay, straight, whatever the hell. And then, you know, maybe they gain consciousness and it's like they knew something happened to them, but it's like, well, nothing could have happened to you because muscles. There's something that I've noticed with men in general, where it's that physicality aspect. Okay, you got the look, you got the muscles, you're able to defend yourself, right? You have this full representation of your testosterone, right? But then we don't talk about the mental. We don't talk about what happens mentally. It does not really matter if you have muscles. It does not matter if you look like a bodybuilder. It does not matter if you have testosterone, if you got a beard, if you got all this other stuff that is identifiable towards men. That does not matter. Because stuff that happens up here at the epicenter of your body, the brain, the very thing that, the heart control stuff, but the very thing that's really, controlling everything, it doesn't matter. I was looking at a video online. It's kind of going off topic, but, it is man's mental health, right? And it was a man, his neighbor committed suicide, right? And even he didn't have the verbiage really to give empathy. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm sad, but like, it's so stupid. Don't kill yourself. It's so this, like
waking up. I don't, what is all this? I have no one there. At the lowest point in my life, I was just lonely. I was miserable, and drugs and going on the depths of the internet, reading a bunch of bullshit. You just cannot feel like a man if you do these things. You're not going to feel like a man if you just cope. We don't need to just be there. Oh, why is no one hitting me up? Why are my friends not hitting me up? Why is my family not calling me? Why does no one care for me? Me. What about you caring for other people? And that simple shift is what must occur, because you're not called to be cared for. You're not called to be this king, this king that just gets to reside in his palace and have everyone bring him sweet treats and everything he ever desires. No, you're called to be a servant. So again, if you're struggling, reach out to me, but also do your part. The world needs you to be better, and it needs you to be strong. All right? It needs you to stop complaining. I get it. It's hard out here. You got to keep going, brother. You got to keep pushing.
Mask presenting dudes, very difficult for them, a good amount of them, to be able to talk in a certain way that shows that they actually have empathy. I don't think that just because you're masculine means that you're a sociopath. I don't think that. But I think words matter, the way that you say certain things matter. And I think this is part of the reason why so many people, especially if you're a feminine presenting person, whether a gay man or a woman or whatever, you may feel that there is an insincerity, that masculinity is toxic, because a good amount of them don't know how to change their verbiage. They don't know how to show that they're someone who actually cares without continuously having to uphold this: be a man, be tough, be strong, be a man, be tough, be strong, be a man, be tough. Like, it's constant. We constantly have to make sure that is at the forefront of everything, even if it's at the expense of showing a little bit more vulnerability, even if it's at the expense of showing that we have a little bit more empathy, even if it's at the expense of showing that we could be able to do certain things, and we can let go of the macho-ness for just a little bit, right? And be able to show that we have other aspects of our humanity. A lot of dudes only focus on that. I'm about to deal with it, right? I'm about to knock a nigga out. And that's great and all. It's great to be able to defend yourself. It's great to be able to stand up for yourself, have a sense of resilience. But again, that should not be the only thing that we associate with men. Where's the balance? And it's concerning to me, because it's put so much on a pedestal. It's like the mantra for all men, that you're kind of like, when are we going to be able to get a sense of understanding? When are we going to be able to get a sense of understanding that we need to be able to have a balance, right? I don't like someone who's whimpering in the corner, who doesn't want to sit there and do anything, who's a coward. But I also don't like someone who lacks empathy, who's a bitch, who doesn't understand that people go through shit, who doesn't have any sense of understanding that some people go through shit. Yeah, he looks the part. Yeah, he looks that particular type of way. But people being predatory, people taking advantage of people having trauma, that's a very real thing. And just because you are a man who looks a certain way does not fucking mean every single man on this planet is just going to be able to sit there, swing on a dude, and everybody's living happily ever after. That's not how human beings work. And it's a very dangerous mindset to have. A lot of men are suffering All right. A lot of the dudes, when they get mad at the gays, because again, patriarchy, everything that's bad is gay. Everything that's bad is feminine. When they get mad at the gays and they blame the gays and they blame Pride Month and they blame femininity and women and they blame literally anything else except themselves taking accountability, right? Which is so funny because that's also a big part of what a lot of talking points from like a lot of masculine presenting men is take accountability, stop being a victim, but they also can't take accountability, and it's a whole thing. I just get so annoyed by this shit, right? Men are committing suicide at more higher rates. Men are doing this. I remember when Terry Crews came out, he was saying how he had gotten taken advantage of, I believe a famous director behind the scenes, and everybody just clowned him. Everybody just clowned him. And Terry Crews is not only just a man, but he is a black man. Emphasis on black and emphasis on being a dark-skinned black man. And if you are a dark-skinned black man, especially a big dark-skinned black man, muscles or not, there is a certain perception that you are supposed to be you are masculinity. There's no, oh, we're going to put this on you. There's no, you are supposed to be the representation of masculinity. That's an even more fucked up scenario to be in, because if you don't do what you're supposed to do, and if you don't fight back, and if you do have an oopsie moment, right, where someone does do something to you, then it's even more of a troublesome situation, because not only do you have to live with the trauma of what just happened, you can't go to anyone and sit there and ask for sympathy or understanding, because there is not going to be sympathy and understanding for someone who is the epitome of what it means to be a man. Not going to be empathy and sympathy for someone who did not use that privilege, right? I'm going to say that in quotation, privilege of being the representation of what it means to be ultra masculine. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You were caught lacking. And now, look at you. Guess what? It's going to be the same shit that a lot of these men are going to say. It's going to be the same shit that they say every single month. Men commit suicide at higher rates. Men commit... It's going to continue to happen when you do not actively show any type of balance. It's going to continue to happen. It's not going to move the girls. Misandry is going to happen. Toxic masculinity is going to constantly be at the forefront, and you're going to see pushback, obviously, from men because they don't want to sit there and feel some type of way.
Watching? No, I'm recording my video. Yeah, I'm doing a reaction to the guy's show.
Yeah, y'all, this is what I'll be trying to tell y'all. You can't really demand respect in an industry like that. That's like a stripper or a prostitute. Yes, that's what happens, y'all. This has been happening forever in history. If people who are a part of sex work or like sell themselves for money or something, if something happens to them, like if something ever happens to them, a sexual assault kind of thing, they kind of throw it out the window, because at the end of the day, you can't really prove it in the court of law when you were part of that kind of industry. So it's just like, what? No, that's real.
Make it sound more objective rather than subjective. That's like, it sounds, I know you're saying it, but like how, like mostly like in the general, make it like generalizing, like the public would look at it this way, or usually people would look at it.
That's what I said, didn't I?
Like you're kind of like, hey, this what happened. You in there, you get raped at shortfall. Like that.
That's why I said that, though. Look, hey, I mean well. I really do.
Well, but you ain't gotta make it cringe.
All right. Well, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying it how I say it. Okay. Well, look.
What I'm saying is, like, if you gotta have video or something, but like even this, it won't be.
It's harder to have demonstrative evidence of such rape when you work in this field because it's so common.
Yeah.
It's hard for people to decipher, to see you as a victim when you do it for a living, and they honestly, because you do it for a living, they dehumanize you and make it think that you had it coming because you already have sex with those happens.
You think that's what it is? Like it's like, oh, you're a little whore, like so. Oh well.
Yeah. Like you act like you didn't like it, like just because they fuck for money.
And they do the same shit with women.
Dang, but you know what's
who are sex workers?
Though, is that in a lot of cases that be true though, like they might just get tired of it because they do it so much, and then they get to the point where they like, oh, they feel like they've been taken advantage of. But to me, in this case, you have to say stop though. Did he say stop at all?
so inebriated, like he don't even know what's going on. He knows he might.
But he took the drugs. But he took the drugs though. He didn't get drugged. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's so argumentative.
The drug thing, like it takes like the other person, the more so like if they were all fucked up, that'd be one thing. But they're like talking to him. He's not even talking. He's not even speaking coherently. Like how someone could still fuck somebody who's talking like that.
He was.
It's weird. That's weird.
He was kind of talking.
Yeah, he was talking like, y'all don't even fuck with me like that. Or he was like saying some other, like, what? I didn't even understand who was who.
Then, yeah, the boyfriend's, because I'm assuming the boyfriend might be in the bottom position, or maybe they'd be flip-flopping, but he did say that he was a top. The reason I say that is, again, I'm not saying the boyfriend is like ultra feminine or whatever, but I'm just saying if you're somebody who's usually in a submissive position, and you are somebody who's usually in that particular type of position, where you are giving your body away to someone else who's more dominant, you may be able to understand the particular perspective of maybe being vulnerable to being taken advantage of, right? And I just noticed that in a universal sense of things, maybe certain dudes can't understand that particular type of viewpoint until they are in that situation. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I just wanted to discuss this. You know, I wanted this to be something that I looked into because I was like, okay, a couple of people that I've follow or that I engage with their content every now and then are talking about the same thing. So I just really wanted to like talk about it because there was like two different perspectives, and I thought that was crazy. Right? I think that it was crazy, his response, if I'm being honest. Again, not saying he's a bad person, but I just thought it was just really telling, and it really brought light to a much bigger type of issue within the community of men, within not just black men or ethnic men, but just men in general, where they just do not understand. They do not understand certain things about vulnerability. They do not have the particular type of verbiage or the particular type of outlook where they can just look at something like that and be able to articulate the nuance of it. It's very much so, pull yourself up by your bootstraps or handle your shit, stop being a little pussy ass bitch, move on, right? It's something about that masculinity aspect that causes some men to not understand what it's like to be vulnerable, considering that the whole, point of being masculine is to make sure that you are stoic, make sure you got your shit together, make sure that you are not being someone in a vulnerable position. And so I wanted to just talk about it. I thought, it was an interesting video, right? I don't think that he's a bad person again, and I'm just glad the boyfriend came in and kind of gave, at least some type of other point or some type of nuance where it's like, yeah, if I was with someone like that, I'll probably stop, right? I'll probably stop because that's bad, right?